Hello everybody and welcome to another Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Transformers Generation 1 Masterpiece Ravage cassette. Ravage doesn't come with any accessories as opposed to some other Masterpiece cassettes, so what you see here is what you get. To begin with, he comes in the pink case, which does look a bit like an Energon cube. Now onto the actual cassette. Obviously from this side, it's quite good detailing. The black and the silver do work quite well. But on that side, it looks horrible. It is the worst of any of the cassettes, which is a bit of a shame. It's all part of the transformation, though, which we'll go into now. So, Ravage is perhaps, given the size, one of the more difficult pieces to transform. So, we'll begin with just by flipping out these. Obviously, they form his legs. That is then continued on that side. Straight away, you can see that by doing so, Ravage is going to produce a slightly different character to the others. Now that then flips up like that, and so does that too. So this starts to give you some idea of the articulation, the end product. That flips down, same here, so these are now connected and that flips down. Straight away you can start to see the form of Ravage. So there's the little missiles, and tucked away here, I don't know if you can just see there, is his tail, which I need to flip out like that, flip over down, and there we are. So that's the back of Ravage done. Front, same thing. Now his head is surprisingly two separate pieces that flip together like that, and there we are, produces the Ravage head. Now the mouth is non-articulative, and then to get the legs, these flip down like that. Same on that side, so you see the little Decepticon logo just goes like that, and then the legs rotate around. They rotate around the other way. So you should have the foot stepping out like that, and then same here. So you've got the silver, which was that way round, should be this way, so you can't see that silver part. So you've got that bit sticking out, and there you are. Just tighten up the lead, and there we are. It's Generation 1 Masterpiece Ravage. Now if I just do that, there we are. And that produced Ravage. So if I zoom in a bit there, because it's being a cassette, it's a relatively small transformer. It's alright. It's very stable, I will give it that. Let's compare him with his Generation 1 counterpart, who, as you can see, is considerably less stable. If I just, balancing Ravage is quite difficult, so I'm just going to lean him against his Masterpiece version. There's a surprisingly large difference in size. The Generation 1 version is considerably larger than the Masterpiece version. That said, the Masterpiece version is considerably more stable. So let's perhaps try and look this way then. Yeah, we do have, well, probably won't stand them quite like that. Let's try standing them a bit more like that. If we can get him to lean and not fall over. There we go. So there's not really that much you can say, is there? The G1 version is so much better. The missiles are big, but they're very shiny. They look the right size. The Masterpiece one just doesn't work. It's got, the missiles look almost like they're an afterpiece, whereas, you know, we've seen Rat-Bats, we've seen Buzzsaw. They looked good, even with the additional accessories for Frenzy and for Rumble. They worked, and I think that's probably what the Masterpiece version of Ravage could have needed, rather than having the missiles built in, if they were the accessories, because it just doesn't work like that. If we take away the G1 version, that by itself, it's stable, and that's the best you can say about it. It's a really stable toy. I'll bring in Soundwave, who absolutely dwarfs Ravage now, just because of the smallness of this guy. And maybe that's more accurate. The Ravage was never a big transformer. That's the whole point of being the master of stealth. But he's not slim anymore. He's actually quite wide. He's stable, he's small, he's short. This guy is incredibly slim, particularly so slim that he falls over. Particularly if he didn't have his missiles, that's incredibly slim for a transformer. Very unstable and quite tall. Just looks right though. This one does not. So I'm really sorry, but the Masterpiece version of Ravage just doesn't work for me. So we'll take away this just to give the Masterpiece one its due. What have they done well with it then? Well, for that, rather than zooming in, I'm going to bring the toy towards you. So what about the head? Got to be honest, that looks awful. And I think that is predominantly because you can just see here, you've got a gap. See, that's where the two join together. And that really looks silly. Tail, it's okay. What I do like is the little Decepticon logos on his I suppose his shoulders. That actually looks very good, and that's a nice touch. There we are. That's a really nice touch for that. His legs are very articulate, as you can see. If we do that, as you can see, not only do they bend over, they also bend at the knee, and they bend well too. So you can get him in very good walking poses. I'm sure that's not how they were. They're all more like that. If you're a puma, see that looks very good. So the articulation is superb. It's just the look of it. The look of it's all wrong. So perhaps if these were chrome it would have helped. Perhaps if these were larger it would have helped. Having the wide Ravage, it doesn't really sit well with me, and I know it makes it a lot easier to stabilise and transform. I have seen Ravage as a USB, and that looks good as well. It's a similar issue in terms of the width. So all in all, do I think it's a good Transformer? Yes, I do. I think it's a good Transformer. It's very detailed, it's nice stability, very poseable. Do I think it's the best version of Ravage you can buy? No. By far, if you can, get the Generation 1 version or the commemorative edition, or go and buy the USB Ravage. I think those two are better than this one. So there we are. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave any comments below, and as ever, click on the other links and have a look at the other videos. Thank you. Goodbye.